Good morning, children. So, let's continue with the grammar portion. We already studied tenses earlier. Okay, I know all of you know everything about tenses. Then it will be easy for you to study voice. Voice means the sound we are hearing or producing. But here it is another thing. So this is the voice in grammar. It is of two voices are of two types. They are active voice and passive voice. Active voice and passive voice. So two types of voices are active voice and passive voice. So like reported speech, here also we have to follow certain rules. So let's study one by one. For that we know the tenses very much. So there are three tenses. They are three kinds of in verb. There are three kinds of tenses. They are present tense, then past tense, then future tense. So each tenses, that is present tense, they have four types of categories. They are simple present, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous. Same way, past tense also simple past, past continuous, then past perfect and past perfect continuous. What about future? Future also simple future, future continuous, future perfect and future perfect continuous. So these are the different types of tenses. So with that we can study voice also. Now children, look at these two sentences. What are they? First one, he writes a story. Second one, a story is written by him. So two of them saying the same thing, but the structure is different. So let's see what's the difference here. He writes a story. Here, he is the subject, and the subject is performing the action that is given in the verb. What is the verb here? Writes. And this subject is performing the action writes. So this verb is performing the action by the subject. Next one, a story is written by him. Here we can consider this a story as the subject. Really it is the passive subject. Why? Because is written, that is the action or that is the verb. This subject is only receiving the action that is performed by the verb. Here this subject is only receiving the action, not doing or performing the action. So that is the difference. So in the first case, subject is performing the action that is mentioned in the verb. So that is known as active voice. And in this case, the subject is not performing the action, but it is only receiving the action. So we can call it as, this sentence is in passive voice. So that's the difference. So here subject is doing the action or performing the action, but here the subject is receiving the action. That's the difference between active voice and passive voice. Now let's see how to convert active voice to passive voice. So let's see one by one. So if you are thorough with the verb tenses, then that will be easy for you. But you should study certain rules. Okay, we can. So listen carefully to the next phase. Okay. Now let's see how to convert active voice to passive voice. So I wrote two sentences here. So let's see one by one. First one, Renu plays tennis. Here, so let's divide each word into whether it is subject or verb or object. Okay, so Renu is the subject, and plays is the verb, and tennis, that is the object. Subject means doer of the action, and object is the receiver of the action, and verb is the action. So here Renu subject, plays verb, and tennis object. Now you should identify what is the tense of plays, or what is the tense of the verb plays. Yeah, that is simple present tense. And what is the structure of simple present tense? That is V1 or V1 plus S. V1 means root form of the verb. V1 plus S means root form plus S. Here this is V1 plus S. So V1 or V1 plus S is simple present tense. So active voice means subject plus verb plus object. That is the structure of active voice. Subject plus verb plus object. Changes will occur only in the case of verb, because sometimes it may be simple present tense, sometimes it may be present continuous or present perfect, or simple past, maybe past continuous, past perfect, or future, like that. Okay. So here we are dealing with simple present. Now let's see how to convert this into passive voice. Here, first you take the object. Which is the object here in this sentence? Tennis. Take the object tennis and place it here. That is the first word we need to write in passive voice. Object becomes the passive subject. Here we can call it as passive subject. So tennis, write tennis here. That is the object in active voice. Write it as passive subject. Then, now this is very important. Verb. Tense of verb is very important. Place is in simple present. So since it is in simple present, you should write either is or are or am. Which one? Is or are or am. When the verb is in simple present tense. So that's why the tense is very important in the case of voice. So now you tell me, which one can we write here? Is it is, tennis is, or tennis are, or tennis am? Tennis is in singular, so we have to use tennis is. Why is here? Because this is in simple present tense. Is, and in all passive voice we should write after the helping. This is helping verb. This comes under be form. Be form is or are or am or was or were. And have form is also helping verb. Has or have or had. That is also helping verb. And do forms are there. They are also we can use as helping verb. Modal auxiliaries. They are also we can use. They are also helping verb, can, could, may, might, etc. So here, since it is a simple present tense, we use is. So in passive voice, next form is write the past participle form or V3 form of the verb or third form of the verb. What is V3 form? For example, write. W-R-I-T-E, write. Write is the V1 form. And wrote is the V2 form. That is the past tense form. Written is the V3 form. That is the third form. So, here we have to write the V3 form. What is the V3 form of play? Play, played, played. That played, last one, third one is the V3 form, played. Played. So, is played. Then you add a special word, by. Is played by whom? Played. Now, what is the subject here? Renu. Write that Renu as the passive object. Renu. Tennis is played by Renu. So here the rule is passive. The object in active voice becomes passive subject, and after that, since it is in simple present tense, that becomes you have to write is or are or am. Is or are or am plus what is this played? Played is the V3 form. In all passive voice, we have to, after helping verb, you should use V3 form plus by. This one is by. By is a special word. By plus, what is this? Passive object. This is the passive object, and here it is the, in active voice it is a subject, and that becomes the passive object. So the rule to convert active voice in simple present tense is passive subject plus is or are or am plus V3 form plus by plus passive object. Okay, next one. I help my friends. I is the subject. Help is the verb, and it is in simple present tense, that is V1 form. The rule is V1 or V1 plus S. Since it is I, that's why help. If it is singular, plural, then helps. Sorry, if it is singular, helps. If it is I or plural, you have to use V1 form. Okay. Then my friends is object. Here also rule is subject plus verb plus object, and help is in simple present tense. Now let's see how to convert it into passive voice. So I already told, first you take the object. Which is the object here? My friends. My friends. My friends. That is the passive subject in passive voice, and really it is the object in active voice, plus, since help is in simple present tense, you should use is or are or am. In this case, my friends. So my friends is it correct? No. Are my friends are? Yeah, that is correct. My friends are. And I told you, after the helping verb, in all cases in passive voice, you should use the V3 form. What is the V3 form of help? Help, help, help. What is the third form? Helped. So, friends are helped. Then you should use the special word by. And then next one is, you should write the subject of active voice as passive object. What is the subject here? I. So, my friends are helped by, is it I? No. Me. My friends are helped by me. So, this is the, so let's say the rule. First you have to write passive subject and it is the object of active voice. Then you since the verb is in simple present tense in active voice, so you have to write is or, are or, am plus, and next one is V3 form of the, what is the V3 form of this verb? Helped. So V3 form plus. And what is the special word we use there? By plus. And last one is subject of the active voice, that becomes the passive object. So this is the rule. These are the rules to convert active to passive voice. In active voice, in the case of simple present tense, it is subject plus V1 or V1 plus S plus object. In the case of passive voice, when we convert active voice in simple present to passive voice, first you write passive subject plus, or we can say object plus is or, are or, am according to the subject. Is or, are or, am plus V3 form of the verb in active voice plus by plus subject of the active voice as passive object. So study this rule and make sentence of your own. You have to make so many sentences with simple present tense and convert it into passive voice. Then you can understand this very much. Okay, if you know the simple present tense, then it will be easy for you to study, or it will be easy for you to understand simple past. Do you know why? In simple past tense, in the place of plays, it will be played, isn't it? Played is the past tense. And when we convert it into passive voice, in the place of is, it will become was. In the place of are, it is were. And the place of am is was. Is or am becomes was, are becomes were. Only that change. All other cases, the same rule. Understand? So, simple past tense is very easy if you know this one. In the place of is or am, you have to write was. In the place of are, were. Only that difference. Okay. So, anyway, I will explain that again about simple past tense. Now, let's see the simple past tense. Active voice in simple past tense. Here, I use the same example, but I changed the tense. So, see, Renu played tennis. Here, Renu is the subject and played is the verb, and verb is in what form? V2 form. That means past tense, simple past tense. It is in simple past tense, and here tennis, that is the object of the sentence. So the rule is in simple past tense. This is in simple past tense, and the rule in active voice is subject plus V2 or past tense, simple past tense plus object. So how will you convert that into passive voice? Just remember how we converted that simple present tense to passive voice. You need to make only little change there in the case of helping verb. So let's see. So just remember that and tell me. So there we used object. We took this object and placed here. So here also take the object. Tennis is the object. So write tennis. Since Played is in simple past tense. We have to use was or were. Which one? Was or were. So tennis is singular. So we have to use tennis was. Was. And I told you after helping verb in passive voice, you should use V3 form of the. Or in all cases in passive voice, you have to use V3 form. What is the V3 form of played? Is played itself. First form is play, then played. Played is the past tense, and played. Last one is played. That is past participle form. Tennis was played. Played. And there we use a special word, that is by. Same way. By whom? Renu. Here this subject becomes the object here. Or passive word. Object. Played by Renu. Now let us divide it into different things. What is it? Tennis is passive subject. Was, the rule is was or were. In the case of simple present tense, is or are or am. In this simple past tense, was or were. Plus the compulsory thing is V3 form of the verb, plus by, plus what is this? It is the subject in active voice, and this becomes, we can call it as passive object. So the rule is passive subject plus was or were plus V3 form plus by plus passive object. So you have to study. Keep it in your mind, and you make so many examples with the same rule. Simple past tense. 5 examples. You use your name instead of Renu. Okay. And you can use some other games in this case. And that way you can study it. Okay. Next one. I helped my friends. Same sentence I used earlier, but only change. Which change occurs here? That is helped. Tense changed. So let's see one by one. I is subject. Helped is V2 form. That is past tense form. And my friends, that is the object. Now how can you convert it into passive voice? First you take the object my friends, then next one. Since it is simple past tense, you have to use was or were. Which ones is suitable here? My friends. Is it my friends was? No. My friends were. My friends were. And V3 form of helped is helped itself. That is past participle form of help is helped. My friends were helped. Then I told you that you add a special word, that is by whom? By I. Is it by I? No. Instead of I, you have to write me. By me. So the rule is passive subject plus was or were plus V3 form plus by plus passive object. Is it clear to you? So we studied simple present tense and simple past tense. How to convert simple present active voice in simple present to passive voice. How to convert the verb in simple past tense to passive voice. Okay. So let's move on to next one. Okay. So we already studied simple present tense and simple past tense. So next one is this. Now look at this sentence. Rita is writing a letter. Rita is writing a letter. So let's divide it into subject, verb and object. So Rita is subject. Is writing is verb. What is the tense of that verb? What is that? present continuous. How can you identify it as present continuous? Because present continuous means am or is or are plus ing form of the verb. So this one is writing. That is plus ing form of the verb. So that is why present continuous. So how can you identify? Am or is or are plus verb plus ing. That is present continuous. Okay, we already studied present continuous. The rule is am or is or are plus verb plus ing. This is writing. That's why present continuous. And a letter is object. What is that? Object. So the structure or rule for active voice is always subject plus verb plus object. Subject and middle you can see the verb and next one object. But all cases it will be like this, but change occurs only in the case of verb. Okay, so let's see how to convert that into passive voice. First you have to, as usual, first you have to take the object. Which is the object here? A letter. First you take and place it here. A letter. That becomes the passive subject. The object of active voice becomes passive subject. A letter here is writing. That is in present continuous. So you have to write the rule. Is here is or are or am. So a letter means is. A letter is, not a letter am or a letter are. It is a letter is. Since this one is in continuous form, present continuous form, you have to in any continuous form you have to use the special word be. This is the special word you should use for continuous form, whether it is present continuous or past continuous. What changes occurs only in this case. If it is in past continuous, it may be was or were in this case. Present continuous, it may be is or are or am according to the subject. So is being, and I already told you after that you should include the V3 form. What is the V3 form of writing? That is first form is write, second form is wrote and third form is written. So V3 form or past participle form of write is always written. Is being written, and you should use the just write the rule here. Passive subject plus am or is or are plus being plus V3 plus next one you have to use the special word by. A letter is being written by. Write the subject of active voice as passive object. What is the subject here? Rita. So written by whom? Rita. That becomes the passive object. So by plus passive object. So how to convert present continuous form in active voice to passive voice? First you take the subject. First you take the object a letter and place it here in the first position. That is a letter. Then since it is in present continuous, you have to write is or are or am plus. Then for all continuous form, you have to use the special word be plus past participle form of write is written plus by plus subject of active voice. That becomes the passive object. So study this rule also. First you identify the tense, then only you have to make changes here. Okay. So passive subject plus am or is or are plus being plus V3 plus by plus passive object. This also you have to make many sentences using your name, your a friend's name, etc., and convert it into passive voice. If you know this one, then naturally the next one also will be very easy for you. What is that? Rita was writing a letter. Here Rita is the subject. Was writing is in past continuous form. What is that? Past continuous form. Here is writing is in present continuous form. So was writing is in was or were. That is the rule for past continuous. Was or were plus continuous form. I already told you, ing form of the verb. What is the ing form? Plus verb plus ing. Writing is ing form of the verb write. So here was or were plus ing form of the verb. That is why it is we can identify it as past continuous form. And a letter, that is the object. Okay. Here also this is the rule, subject plus verb plus object. So it is active voice, and this active voice, this verb is in past continuous form. I told you, if you know how to convert this one, present continuous to passive voice, then you know this. You can easily write this one also. Okay, so let's start. First you write the object, a letter. Then what is this? Past continuous. So you have to write was or were plus being plus V3 form. So here which one? A letter means what? Was. A letter was. Being is the special word for continuous form. Being, and what is the V3 form of write? Written. Being written by whom? Written by, and the special word by whom? Rita. Written by Rita. So the rule is a letter, that is the object in active voice, and it becomes passive subject plus was or were plus being in all continuous form plus V3 form plus, always they have to use V3 form in passive voice, plus by plus the subject in active voice becomes passive object, and that is the rule to convert past continuous to passive voice. First one, passive subject plus was or were plus being because of continuous form, being plus V3 plus by plus passive object. Okay, that's about continuous form. So now let's study the next form.